All right, we have our Student Services Committee meeting Monday, April 9th, 2018. Ms. Stearns, Ms. Campworth, and Mr. Johnson and Dr. Goggins are present. So we have some handbook recommendations for next school year. So you know how these come to us. Each school has faculty, parents, and students who meet and make recommendations to the student parent handbook. Those recommendations then come here to myself and Dr. Kendall. We look them over, figure out, figure out which ones we're going to make for recommendations for next school year. Okay, so that's what you got in front of you. And to be honest, most of these are keeping up with the times. Mostly with respect to technology. So if you look at that first one, what's currently in the handbook talks about electronic paging devices and personal digital assistants and things of that nature. Those really aren't prevalent anymore. It also talks about alert mechanisms, and those really aren't pertinent anymore. Now there's no such things as notifications and ringtones and all that kind of stuff. So what we're looking to do, if you look at the recommended change, is to just have it read electronic devices. Cross out the stuff that's in bold there with the line through it. The school administration is authorized to discipline students using a cell phone, video recording device, iPad, tablet, or other electronic device in any manner that disrupts
Why does this not
educational
also include headphones?
There's a that's under.
Is it a different?
That's under dress code.
Headphones on?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't it be with this?
I mean, do they just wear them to wear them without them attached to their
No,
phone,
and it's
or?
kind of like, I'm surprised it's not on here because it's a big problem in the schools during passing period. First they have them on and they're got their stuff so loud, so they're yelling and screaming at each other. They can't hear if a teacher's telling them something.
Right.
That's under dress code.
So are they allowed to use that during passing period?
Well, this is more, this particular section in the handbook, the one regarding electronic devices, is improper usage.
Right, so that's kind of what I'm getting at. If they have headphones or earbuds that go with the cell phone and they have them during passing period, is that a proper usage or an improper?
Well, we allow students to utilize their cell phones during non-academic times. So if you look
That's why I'm surprised it's not on here, because it's a big problem at the schools, from what I hear.
Didn't come to us.
That's why I said I'm surprised.
Yeah, it didn't come over, so.
So they technically could be on their phone in the hallway in between classes.
Yes.
And that could account for tardies, and
Yes.
because they're messing around. And
Mm-hmm.
if they're like study hall or something, I don't think during passing period they should be on it. You got just so much time to get to class and go.
Yeah. Nowadays, it was tough enough just making the class on time. I got all these other instructions.
Yeah. So we added also iPad, tablet. If you look at where it talks about cell phones and other electronic devices, can be used in the lunchrooms during lunch break as well as before and after school throughout the building. Can be used in common areas not during assigned academic times. What's currently in there is cannot be used in the locker rooms. We also wanted to add and restrooms.
Mm-hmm.
Cannot be used in the classroom. It currently says unless permission from the classroom teacher. That just doesn't sound right. So we're looking to change that to without permission from the classroom
Well, that's better
teacher.
too, because then that starts it out with they can't use it.
Yeah.
Right, until they are given
Authorization. Correct. And then the other change on that particular item is on the next page. Instead of alert mechanisms, changing that to notifications and ringtones. Any questions about that one? Okay. The next one there is pertaining to book bags. There was a discussion at one of our schools that they wanted to make sure that students we're utilizing the book bags just for the purpose of what we've authorized them to utilize the book bag for. As you guys may know, there's sometimes that they have sport book bags where you can actually put a bat and a glove and shoes and all that kind of stuff. And some of our students were saying, well, it's a backpack, it's a book bag. Well, it's not. It's not a backpack. It's more for sports. So the reason why we authorized this a few years ago was so that students would be able to transport their books and or classroom materials. And so we've added that in the recommended change. It says our students are permitted to carry book bags and minimum size hand duffel bags during the school day for the purpose of transporting their books, iPad, or classroom materials. So, okay. The next one there is absolutely keeping up with the times. If you don't know what's going on currently with the whole vaping and e-cigarette thing, it's kind of a fad with teenagers these days. Yeah, and unfortunately, as you probably read here recently in the papers and things, people are putting some bad stuff in those for them too. So and way more than just nicotine.
What is tobacco lookouts? Lookouts for smokers, what does that mean?
Where you at?
Smoking and or possession of tobacco lookouts for smokers.
Why am I not seeing this? Oh, look out for smokers. So somebody's smoking in the bathroom. Somebody knows they're smoking in the bathroom. They're watching.
Oh, lookouts. Okay.
They're looking for adults. They're watching for adults.
Can we not add like alternative things? Like.
What do you mean?
Like, so I don't have tobacco, but I have some herbal stuff that's not marijuana.
Because a lot of them will say in their vaping things it's just juice, flavored juice, and not, like she's saying,
Right.
tobacco.
Well, that's why
But
we're.
the vaping mechanism itself is
it's
not allowed.
banned. Right, correct.
Okay, so that,
Banning the e-cigarettes and the vaping thing itself.
So I roll my own cigarettes with my fake tobacco. That's allowed.
Well, I guess what you could say is
That's
we
smoking
include the smoking materials would be the rolling papers.
Okay.
I know that's how we've applied it in the past. Okay. The next one's really simple. It's just adding the iPad/tablets if in fact we go to that at some point. And again, it talks about the computer misuse and the ability to be able to continue using it as long as you're using them properly.
We're still going to keep in there program disks and data disks, even though nothing's on a disk.
Well, we still use those.
Old computers with disks, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
you would be surprised.
I am.
I mean, it's not as common as you might think, but they're still around.
Mm-hmm.
does that cover jump drives? Technically?
Yeah, because it's generic enough to
Okay.
any kind of computer misusage.
Okay.
And essentially, it is all school property. So. Okay, good with that one? The next one's regarding gang violations. This is generally how we've applied it anyway, but we just wanted to make it more specific. That it includes tagging or writing symbols on school property, folders, homework, etc. A lot of times when students are identified, it's because of that as opposed to outward signing or saying that they're in a gang or something like that. It's typically something that's seen on a folder, or they've written in a book, or they've put on some of their property or something like that. And then they get into that discussion of, okay, what's going on here? And you find out a lot more than probably we want to. So If in fact they're writing on their folders, their own property, school property, homework, etc., that's also a violation. Okay. And then last but not least, the reason why we're looking to eliminate that last part of unsupervised after school and following school activities, it prescribes a discipline, and in our system we don't necessarily say that one thing automatically equals something. It's generally pertains to the student, the nature of the offense, and what might impact that student. So for example, if a kid's late, it's not automatically a tardy, or excuse me, if a kid's tardy, it's not automatically a detention. You know, we would look at whatever the kid's doing after school and that after school activity being unsupervised, and if it's not that big a deal, it might just be a warning. If it's a big deal, it might be all the way to a suspension. So the stuff that's crossed out there is more prescriptive in nature, and we just flat out don't do that practice anymore. So we pay the deans a lot of money to utilize their brains as opposed to just assigning consequences.
And is there anything in there about what time they can get here at the start of the day?
I don't think there is, Dave.
There's some kids that get here like damn early, like 6 o'clock.
Right.
And they can get into the building now?
Well, the custodians let them in.
Yeah.
Rather than have them freeze outside.
Yeah, I don't think there is anything like that in the handbook.
Used to be, at Tinley, you got in 10 minutes before. That was it. I mean, we offer buses for everyone. If you come out on a bus, you get in when the bus comes in. But
Yeah.
there's so many parents just dropping these kids off on their way to work. I don't see why anybody needs to be there at 6 in the morning. Unless they have practice before school.
I'll have to check.
No one monitors them, you know.
I'll have to check. There may be something in there.
I don't think there is.
I don't think there is either. But I haven't heard that concern either.
They are supervised when they come in the building that early. Is that your main concern, Dad?
Yeah. And a lot of it, why are they needing to be there that early? Or do they live here? Why aren't they able to take the bus?
Yeah, I mean, do all the schools offer something in the cafeteria in the morning? I mean, I would say 6:30 would be the earliest if you're looking to grab something
No.
to eat if you're not getting it home, but there's not even breakfast served, right? Vending machine, maybe, that'd be about it.
I don't know. I should say that not Tinley's on that healthy thing, so they don't.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. I just haven't heard the concern from the schools that they're having kids arrive too early, quote unquote, too early. But it may make sense to have something in our handbook. Half hour before school. I'll look. I'll check.
I don't know when Tinley stopped doing that. Probably someone complained about having.
What
to
was
stand out
what
there.
was it? 10 minutes? Well, the buses probably get there at least 15 before.
Well, if you were on a bus, you got in. If you were drove, you didn't.
You weren't in until 10 minutes before school starts?
Mm-mm. We all used to line up just like when you pick them up.
Any questions about any of these? I'll get your answer, whether it's in the book or not.
No.
No.
All right. That's all I got for you. Thank you.